In today's video, I'll be showing you how to do top-down analysis like a pro using just supply and demand plus liquidity. Now, to successfully conclude a top-down analysis of any currency pair, there are certain things you need to know. Okay, you need to look at the higher time frame that you'll be working with. What constitutes your higher time frame? Is it the monthly? Is it the weekly? Is it the daily? Okay, depending on the kind of strategy, depending on the kind of trader you are. So in this case, I'm going to do a top-down analysis, okay, on the Euro USD. And watch me as I do this. Now, the first thing you need to ask yourself is, where is the recent supply and demand zones? The first thing you need to ask yourself is, because we are in the higher time frame, we have to know the recent S and D zones. Okay, the S and D zones responsible for a breaking structure, and from there you can see this whole candle here could be your S and D zones. Okay, this is the recent S and D zone. Okay, that was responsible for this break, because this is a very strong demand zone that was eventually broken, and the point of origin must have been from here. This is where price came in, and it is not yet mitigated. Others came in here to take out this low, which eventually took out this. Now, what are the obstacles that we have? We have one here, these demand zones here. There's a demand zone here, and that is why I say as middle price came in, there was a rejection. Okay, so now when you ask yourself this, where is the recent zones, you mark them out. Okay, the next thing is, was there any recent break of structure? Yes, we have recent, therefore we should be expecting a form of a pullback. Okay, we should be expecting pullback, but since this is the monthly time frame, we don't get a trade setup here. So what you need to do next is to move to a lower time frame. In this case, your weekly. Then you ask the same question. Okay, you have the same question. In this case, we have a recent break here, so we can refine this. We have a supply zone here, and we have the recent supply zone here that were responsible for the break, and we have this hidden base as well. So if we are to sell within this weekly time frame, it is not probable to sell within this time frame. Why? We are at the discount zone. Okay, we are at a discount zone, so trying to sell in here, maybe you'll be scalping, because any moment soon we should see a pullback, a deeper pullback, okay, to any of these supply and demand zones, so as to mitigate and then continue the bearish push in price. So this is a very good setup if I'm to look at this, okay, because this is the current situation of Euro USD here, more like a weekly analysis, but I'm showing you how to do a top-down approach using just supply and demand. Okay, so with this, we have to wait and see. What we need to look for here is a change of order flow. If you have a change of order flow in here, then we can drive this price to the upside, and these are zones where I'll be heavily shorting Euro USD when it gets there. Now, once you're done with the weekly, where are the recent zones? These are the recent zones. This is an old zone, but this is now when it's being mitigated, which simply means there are a lot of orders sitting in there, and those orders will be responsible for a push in price. On the daily now, you are going to further look at the situation and then maybe probably refine. You can see all of these are supply zones, all of these are supply zones, okay, but you can then refine to make your chart looks cleaner. Okay, this is the point of origin here. This is the point of origin. We also have this point here that was responsible for this break. Okay, so now we might be expecting price to trade back in here. I won't be looking for a long-term short here. If I'm to look for short in here on this hidden base, it will be a scalp. Okay, it will be a scalp because I see favor price to push deeper because we are right now in the discount zone. Okay, so this is the current play here. This is the current play. Okay, let me take off this Fibonacci here. So this is the range you are looking at on the daily. Okay, number one, you must identify your what, your recent supply and demand zones and the recent trading range. So in this case, we have this range from here to here. We need to have that first pullback. Okay, I'm not going to say much on that anyway. Then we go to the 4 hour. What are we saying in the 4 hours? Now this 4 hour, what I'll be hoping for is to see a form of what? Break, a shift in order flow. Shift in order flow here into this. As I said, this is the area where I told you I'll be looking for what? Scalp. Price may come in here, pull back, then continue higher. Okay, so I'm not going to be looking for a very deeper move here, to be honest. I will be scalping this. So once you identify your supply and demand zones, this high here, I know most people want to be trading this. I won't be doing this, okay, because this high to me looks like an inducement. I would make a video on inducement later, but not now. This high looks like an inducement, so I expect price to take this high into this area. Then I can look for my short. Now you can see how I'm moving from the higher time frame to the lower time frame just by identifying my supply and demand zones and also knowing my areas of what structure and the current trading range. These are things you need to be doing. Okay, these are things you need to be doing in order to know exactly where you expect price to be heading to. When you do this and you have a set of rules, you eliminate confusion. Now, the last one here, which I'll be doing here, is simply go to the 1 hour. Okay, this I took a trade here, but it didn't go far. Okay, on yesterday, non-farm payroll, I took a trade here on the 30 minutes. This was the 30 minutes supply zone. Gave a beautiful 4 hour because I took what is it called, confirmation. Okay, and there was a break of structure here. This is a break of structure, though it wasn't clean. It's not that clean because I've not seen any form of imbalance, but as I said, this zone here, this is the demand zone that was responsible for this. So even if I'm going to have a pullback down, I'll be heavily looking for buying pressure in here. Okay, all of this serving as inducement for that. Okay, the weeks, in fact, starting from this week here, when price comes back in here, you can see I'm using all form of supply and demand, both hidden base and the different form of demand zones that you can mark. These are relatively equal highs. If price comes back in here, this gives me bigger confidence because I know price will come. Okay, we'll be heading to clear those liquidity. Now, top the analysis. What are the things you need to know? The first one is you need to write it down. You need to understand the recent zones. Number two, you need to understand the recent break of structure. Number three, you need to understand liquidity. Okay, liquidity. So in this case, if just as I said, this I'm not really interested in this. Okay, I'm not really interested in this. This is an inducement. I would rather be looking for a short in here. Okay. Then from there, maybe you pull back down here, you look for your trades. So that is how I simply do my top-down analysis using recent. Remember what I said, recent supply and demand zones. Okay, where are the recent supply and demand zones? And I believe when you do this back testing, forward testing, practice it. Use the replay features. Go back in time and see if you can replicate what I'm showing you here and see if it actually holds. Okay, before you start putting in your money, because I am not a financial advisor. Do not consider this a financial advice. Okay, I'm only doing this to help you improve your trading. So in this case, this is the setup. When price comes in here, I'll be looking to take a trade. Now, since I'm taking a reversal, I'll be looking for confirmation. I'm looking for what? Confirmation. Whatever trade I'm taking for this pullback, that's another key I need to tell you. Look for confirmation. I will never take this trade on a risky base. I'll be looking for confirmation. Even though I have a 1 hour change of order flow, I'll still be looking for confirmation to take this to the upside. The only time I go for risky trade is if I'm within that trend. Okay, and you can see the trend is very, very bearish. So it makes sense to look for confirmation. Even in this one here, I'll still be looking for confirmation. Because on the weekly, we are in a discount zone. So to be sure if this zone will hold, I will need confirmation to take this to the downside. I believe this will help you. If you still want to understand more about smart money concept, I will see you in this video.